rAVe Radio. With rants and raves, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is rants and raves with Gary K.
Hey everyone, this is Gary K, and welcome to a special edition of my Rants and Raves video cast. I'm joined with Cody Kleven, who is the business development manager for ProAV at NETGEAR. By the way, this is a company I've been talking about for 2 years with Laurent. This is a company that every AV integrator should be a dealer for, NETGEAR. Talk about, Cody, how AV, we're talking, actually the reason why we're here is we're going to promote on next Wednesday, the 25th of August. We're going to do a webinar, a state of the AV over IP industry, because this is the direction the whole entire industry, like everyone knows that ultimately displays eventually are all going to be LED. We all know that eventually all of signal routing distribution is going to be AV over IP. Cody, you got a great job because you're only going to grow.
Yeah, Gary. Yeah, I totally feel so grateful to be here at NETGEAR because we at NETGEAR were kind of the right company, the right place at the right time. Like you mentioned, there are very few AV projects these days that don't require a network switch, whether it's for PoE or for control or for distribution of audio or video. And like I tell integrators all the time, what makes NETGEAR unique is we're kind of the right sized company to approach this market and support integrators. You know, we're small enough to care, but we're big enough to do something about it. And we've certainly done that with the new launch of our M4250s. So yeah, it feels the industry is it's exciting right now.
We're going to talk about all the different products next Wednesday, 25th of August, 2 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about all the products that are out in AV over IP. We're going to talk about the proposed standard. There's a new proposed standard. You'll learn about the new proposed standard. We'll talk about the state of the market is, like who are the big, I mean, everyone knows Crestron's dominating it right now with their 1 gig products, but there's a lot of new stuff coming along. There's SDVOE, who's got this group of manufacturers together, over 40 companies, almost 50 companies that are working together. And ultimately, let's be honest, you don't really care. NETGEAR doesn't really care because you have the ability to route anything over IP that's video and audio, which you know, in that case, you make a really good point, actually, because if I were an integrator, I'd be intimidated going to a company like Cisco because Cisco's making, you know, routers for giant, you know, infrastructures, but also cable set-top boxes. And in case of NETGEAR, you've got a division that's focused on ProAV. And in fact, your division will do systems designs for the integrator if they don't know how to do it themselves, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You know, like no disrespect to Cisco, they've done a great job and they've been very successful. But if you ask somebody at Cisco about, you know, supporting a Dante network, they might ask you like, who's Dante, right? Yeah. Or what is AVB, or what does SDVOE stand for, right? And so we have built this group, this ProAV design engineering team, to support integrators, support consultants, support the industry as a whole. And this group of individuals they're network experts, but they spend all day, every day supporting AV over IP and understand the nuances associated with our market.
Yeah, and that's really important. So we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about how you'd become a dealer for NETGEAR, but this is not going to be all about NETGEAR. NETGEAR is a sponsor of this. Thank you for being a sponsor, but they're smart enough to understand that the value in delivering this content, in addition to being AVIXA CTS approved, is the fact that I'm going to cover all the different products in AV over IP and how important it is that you have the right network infrastructure to do that. So Cody will join me on this webinar and talk about the intricacies of how to select the right network, how to get educated, how to get your systems designs done by NETGEAR. And this is a great way for you to enter the market. So you've got a customer that says, hey, what about sending this stuff over the network? You can have your design team and if you're a small integrator, medium, even large integrator, design it the old fashioned way using HDMI or whatever you might use. Then send the same design over to Cody's team and let them design it AV over IP. And then you can present both to your customer. And then I think, Cody, this webinar will give them the muscle behind it to convince the customer that they might want to go AV over IP. For me, the value in AV over IP is what I call digital canvassing, or the multi-windowing that you can do on displays. You can put content anywhere. In your case, I think you would you would say that the simplicity of the infrastructure and the standardization of signals by using IP, Internet Protocol, would mean that everyone can work with everyone else. So either way, we're going to debate this a little bit next week on August 25th at 2 p.m. Join us, sign up now, register at the link below where you're watching this video. Cody, thank you very much. We will see you next Wednesday.
All right, thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
With Ransom